Good evening, boys and girls. Today, my topic is on civil analytical, but I want to start by looking at what we did yesterday, which was the issue of perspective. I want to recap on that so that if you had any issues with regards to the lesson, any concepts which you did not understand fully, then we'll touch on that. But I'm just going to give you a preamble as to what we are going to do after the task that we are going to do on perspective. Going forward, I will be doing 2 tasks, looking at past exam papers so that we prepare fully for our exams. The civil analytical would come in as part of civil drawing. You know that in paper 1, there is question 1, which is civil analytical. Then there's question 4, which is the main one, which covers mostly, you would find the floor plan, the section, and the elevation. We are going to do that later, but for today's lesson, of course, depending on the time that we have, we are going to look at civil analytical. Don't forget these encouraging words. I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. As always, we urge you to be practical in terms of EGD so that whatever you do would mirror your understanding by doing something. So being a practical subject, EGD would call upon each and every one of you to make sure that you practice what we teach and what you learn. Thank you, boys and girls. Now I'm going to go to the perspective, like I said, recap on that so that we iron out any issues with regards to the concept. Right, just sorting the paper. Right, like we did yesterday, when we are given a perspective drawing, the first thing that you want to look at and to do is to establish the vanishing points. The vanishing points, these are generated from the SP with a line which is parallel to the sides. We have got this side and that side. So the first one that we want to establish, but first of all, let's check. Yes, they are drawn at 30 degrees. So I'm going to draw a line that would cut the picture plane here. As it cuts the picture plane, you bring this one down. Right. This point now is our right vanishing point. So we have got this line, that line, and the point, which is the point of vanishing, and the label. You do the same thing on the left-hand side, you project like that, then you take it down. Right, so we have got our left vanishing point. The next thing that you are going to consider is to check with regards to the positioning of the top view, whether there is any part which is touching the picture plane. So if we check this point and that point, they are touching the picture plane. And as such, we are going to see the true view, right, in projection with the elevation. So I'm going to project this one down like that, and also project this one down like that. So this point is the exact point, this point is the exact point. So if I were to bring in the height from this end like that, you'd find that that part which is from here to there, is basically represented now as a step. There is nothing that would stop you from outlining this part. So I'm going to do the same. From here to there, outlined. And from here to there, also outlined. Then you can also outline this part and this part as well. So now we have got the part of the step which is touching the picture plane. Right, the next thing that you need to do is to relate these points to the vanishing points. Let's start with the left vanishing point, to the left vanishing point, to the left vanishing point, and to the right vanishing point, to the right vanishing point, like that. Once you have done that, then you coordinate with the top view, right? Any details that can be located on these views or on these lines that we've drawn. I would start by locating this point. Again, don't lose sight of the SP. It's from here to there. Then you take it down like that. Now, once you have established a point like this, it's already going to the left vanishing point, then you take it to the right vanishing point, you connect like that. There is every reason that you are able to outline from here to there and from here to there. So that part can be defined. It's not going to change. So we'll bring this one down like that. Then we outline going up. Right. The next thing, I also want to get hold of this point, which is basically this point in terms of the raised part of the veranda. Then I connect like that. You bring this one down. You have got a point there. So this line is basically representing this wall, right? Then, because it's 2-point perspective, there's already a line which is going to the right vanishing point. So I connect now going to the left vanishing point. That line would be useful later on when we define everything. So now we have got the position of this wall and the position of that part from here to there. I've got this line, which is going to the right vanishing point. I can get hold of this one, which is the start of the raised part of the wall. I connect this one, take it down like that. Then refer this one to the left vanishing point like that. The result is that this distance from here to there, it's already defined, which is the end part of the veranda. Then you can even outline this part like that. I can get hold of this point, which is the corner related to this one. So getting hold of that. When we get hold of a point, we are connecting with the person who is viewing the object in terms of the visual line. Take that, bring this one down. So this part, which is the corner of the wall, is in line with that one. The moment we have got a point like this, we take it to the right vanishing point like that. Now, you would see something. This line, which is going to the right vanishing point, and this line, which is going to the left vanishing point, they are meeting here. Right. If we connect with this point, we should be able to come to this point as well. Let's try it. Then you take it down, which is exactly the same point. Right. There is no window this side. There is no window at the bottom because this window which is in form of a semicircle, which is an arch, right, is above the ground line there. So we can actually outline from here to there and from here to there. That would not change. Remember what I said yesterday? You always work from the known to the unknown so that you don't get confused along the way. So I'm going to outline this part and also outline this part. The next thing that I want is to get hold of this corner. You bring it down like that. So the bottom part from here to there, that is the end of the building. So I can outline this from here to there. But for now, I cannot outline this because I don't have the roof. Remember, in perspective, you can start by erecting the walls, or you can start by defining the roof and everything, even before the walls are put in position. As long as you are dealing with the right lines, you will be able to do that. Now, I'm going to establish the roof so that it would cover the building. As you can see at this point, this line here, it's not touching the picture plane. So I force it to touch the picture plane like that. Then I take it down. Look for the relevant height, which is this one. Connect it to that point like that. Once you have gotten this point, you now relate it to the right vanishing point because we drew from right to left. So you would connect this one to the right vanishing point like that. That's where you are able to locate this point and that point on this line that I've just drawn. So you link there you go. You have got this point, which is exactly that point that we require. The other point in line with this point is that point. Let's get hold of that as well. From the SP. Critical, you should maintain your accuracy. Every line that you draw should mean something. The drawing that we present is basically a description of lines that have been connected together. So the line that you should draw should have a meaning. So from here to there, that's the line which is representing this one to there. I'm going to outline this because it's not going to change. And I connect like this. Already we are now looking at the roof. Right. I'm going to need this line, right, so that I will be able to get this point. So I'm going to extend this. Take it down. Right. Look for the relevant height. The relevant height is this point. So you transfer it from here all the way to that point, which is that one. As you can see, this is basically in line with the horizon line, so it's not going to make any difference. Right. Once we have done that, you now connect with the respective points from the SP, like that. Then you take it down. There you go. That is the point which is representing this one. Later on, we would connect this point to that point, which is this point to that point. In the same vein, there's another point which is like in line with that one. So I'm going to connect this point. like that. Then I have got this point now. This point is connected to this one, which is from here to there, and both points are connected to this part, to that part. We refer to this kind of roof as a hipped roof. There are two kinds of roofs that we mainly use. We have got the hipped roof and the gable roof this side. So this one is falling inward like, so that should also be shown on this side. So I'm going to connect this one like that. So now this is the element of the roof, which is the hipped part, which is from here to there and there. At this point, you can even outline this. It's not going to change. It can only be stopped by the roof. I can also outline from here to there and outline from here to there, as well as this part. The next thing that you want to find is this point, which is in line with this point, which is also going to the vanishing point. So I get hold of that point from the SP, like that. Then you take it down. You have got this point. As you can see, this point is connected to that point. We should also connect this one to that point, the other point that we established earlier on. So this, it's connected like that. And this can be brought or extended to that point. Remember, you always work from the known to the unknown. Right, here we can also outline this part of the wall to meet the roof. But there are still details here in terms of the door that side. So we are not going to draw any line from here to there. We leave it that one for now. The next thing, you have got this roof, which is basically tipped here as the ridge line. So I'm going to force this line to hit the picture plane, take it down. Once I've taken that one down, I look for the respective height, which is here. That is the height that I require. Right, then from this, because it has been drawn from left to right, I need to take it to the left vanishing point, like that. Once you have gotten this line, remember this is not the actual point that you require. The actual point is this one, so it should be connected with the observer's eye, which is the line of sight that we talked about yesterday. So from here to there, you bring this one down like that. You have got now the point that you require. Right. Then the other point in front of this one is that point. So you get hold of that. Then you take this one down like that. Then you have got this specific point. So the distance from here to there, which is from here to there, that line can be outlined as part of the roof. Then we have this one. Outline from here to there. We have got other details to do with the chimney. We are going to work on that. Right, I want us to be able to get this detail, which is the lower part of the ridge line, which is here, but of course the gable roof, this gable end. So I want this point and that point. As you can see, it's not touching the picture plane. So you force it to touch the picture plane like that. Then you bring it down. Once you have brought it down, you have got the height, which is this point. So you take this height like that. The same height, we know that it is the same height which is in line with the HL. So you now get the point, right, which should be located on this height that you have defined. Let's get the point. The lower part, like that. You take it down. Like that. There is the point that we require. There is also another point in front. You get hold of that. Then you take it down. You have a point like that. This point is connected to this part, and this point is also connected to that part. We can do the same, right? Take this one here, and you take this one there as well. Right, if you are satisfied, you outline this part, and also outline this part, like that. There's nothing that would stop you from connecting this part to this point, which is the same as just connecting from here to there. Since it is a straight line, we can just come here and draw a line like that. As you can see, our building is taking shape in terms of the pictorial view, right? I can come here now and outline from here to there, but still I cannot outline this one because I need to ascertain the height of the wall. This one is cut off by the roof, so there is no change in terms of the outmate diagram. Then here, I also can come and outline here. Right. When you require to have the height of the roof, you force this one to hit the picture plane. It's already there. Once you have done that, you take the point of connection between the roof and the wall. Right, it's this one. Then you take it down. You have got a point here. It's from right to left, so it has to be connected to the right vanishing point, like that. Then you have got this particular point. This is the height of the roof, of the wall, sorry. So I connect this one to there. I need another point, which is also touching the roof on the underside in terms of the wall. You have got this, which is on the underside of the ridge line. Sorry about that. Right, so I would connect from here, then take this one down. Right, you connect this point now to the underside of the ridge line like this. Right, if you are certain you have done the right thing, you can actually outline this. You would see that there is the overlap of the roof. In terms of the wall, we refer to this one as the roof overhang or the eave. And you can now draw this line, which would define the eave in terms of the overlap. You work at a detail, one at a time, so that you are not going to confuse in terms of confuse yourself in terms of constructions. Right. We have done all this. The next thing that we want to do is to factor in the chimney, which is this line. Since it's not touching the picture plane, you force it to touch the picture plane, then you take it down like that. There is the height of the chimney, so I'm going to project from here like this. In line with that, I have got now that point. Remember, that point is just the point of reference. Once we have gotten this one, you refer it to the right vanishing point because you drew it from right to left. So I'm going to connect like that. On this line, I can get this point and that point. So let me do that. I bring this one down like that. Connect, bring this one, which is this point, right? The other point is this one. I'm going to connect again with the SP. Bring this one down. That line seems to be there already, right? So there is this line from here to there, which is basically a representation from here to there. If you take that one down, I can outline that. I can also outline this because the other part is on the other side, so I'm not going to see the end part, but I cannot outline this one. I need additional information on that. This point is the final point, so it has to be connected to the left vanishing point so that we bring in the full concept of perspective, 2-point perspective. I get hold of this one. Bring this one down like that. Then the distance from here to there is a representation from here to there. So I can outline this like that. Once I have done this, the next thing that I want to find is this point, which is the lower part of the chimney as it touches the roof. So I project this part down like that, then coordinate with this to there, that, which is this part, right? Let me just verify. Yes, which is that part. If I project like that, which is that part. This has to be taken to the right vanishing point. It has to be taken to the right vanishing point, right, where it would meet. Every time when you're not sure, you verify, because in perspective, there are so many lines, you verify. We have got this part. Now, this is the height from here to there, which is from here to there, right? You can actually outline this. It's not going to change. And as you can see, the roof would also flow along that. Then I connected this one to there. You can also outline that part. Right. I need the other part in terms of this one. In terms of the other end. So you are going to project again. You have got that projection, which is all the way, right? You connect with this other part, which is going downwards. Then you remember this line is to be connected to the right left vanishing point. So you do this. Every point that you have defined should have two connections like that, which is the point. So I'm going to connect this one now to the left vanishing point like that. Right. So this is the line, which is the lower part, which is going from here to there. Then bring this one down like this. Perfect. You now have got your chimney in position. The next thing that you would want to do, right, is now to define the openings and so forth. This one is just an opening. This is a circular opening, and you have got the door that way. Right, I'm going to start with this one, which is this opening. Right, this opening is located on this line. So what I will do, I'll force it to hit the picture plane. That line is already there, right? Then project from here, like that. The lower part as well, like that. Projection, right? Take it down, which is this point and that point, right? Then I relate this one to the right vanishing point. The right vanishing point again. Right, on these two lines that I've defined, I now get hold of this and that from the SP, like that. Then you take it down. I take this one down, like that, all the way to that point in terms of the line. Then the first one also here. Right, so there's this line which is going to the right vanishing point, and this line which is going to the right vanishing point. You have got this point, you take it down. So you have got this point, that point, that point, and that point. Now you can define the nature of your opening. That's right. That is the setup of our window, which is this window this side. But as you can see, there's this corner that you will be able to see when you are looking from this direction because it's within the visual angle. Right, so you connect this one to the left vanishing point, like that. You also connect now with the inner part, which would define the thickness of the wall. Remember, you have got about 30 minutes to do this exercise. Right, you outline that part. Outline that part, you connect it to the right vanishing point and drag it backwards. Like this, then you outline that. Right. You now have got the window in position in terms of the right hand side, which is this particular window, which is this one, which is that. Like I said yesterday, if you want to put some kind of visual effect on your perspective, remember perspective is known as presentation drawing. Right, you want someone to appreciate what you have done. So you can put a bit of graphics, but in an exam, boys and girls, there are no marks for this. But if you are presenting so that someone would appreciate what you have done, you can also add a bit of graphics like that. Now, from here, I want us to go to the door, which is this part from here to there. Right, again, you would see that the door is not touching the picture plane. So the first thing that you do, you force it to touch the picture plane, then you bring it down, right? You get the true height, which is here. This is the true height of the door. Then you take it to the right vanishing point. Like that. So on this line that I've drawn, this is where you will be able to locate this point and that point in terms of the door profile. So I'm going to do that just now. Connect with the SP, take it down. Then you do this. Right. If you have certain that that line is in the right position, you can actually outline from here to there, then connect with this other point as well. Always make sure that your eye is fixed to the point and it's in line with the SP. You take this one down like that. Again, I would outline this one from here to there to meet that line which is going to the right vanishing point at the top, which is this one. like that. Once you have put this profile in position, you can now go back and outline the remainder of the space like that, like that. But it's not complete. We still need to factor in the thickness of the wall. So you connect here, right? Then you take this one down like that. Then at this corner here, you refer it to the right vanishing point like that. Take that one up and you relate this one like that. So that is the thickness of the door. As you are looking from this point, you are able to see the door partly open like that. Last but not least, in terms of our drawing, we need now to factor in this part, which is the circular part. Like I said yesterday, for you to be able to draw a circle in isometric, divide the circle into a number of equal parts, I would prefer at this point that you divide it into 6 equal parts, right? Label, just for your own benefit, 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and 0. You know that these points are basically the same. So point 3, which is here, is the one which is here as well. So point 3 and point 3. What you need now is point 2, point 1, and point 0. Point 0, of course, it's already there. So 0 and 0 is there. Then what you need to do, you drop these points down, you drop them down like that. I'm not going to do on the right hand side because it will basically be repetition, so there's no need for that. Then once we have done that, you take your compass, standing at the center, which is point number 3, you open up your compass like this, right? To point 2, you go and stand at point 3 as well. You mark this side, that's point 2. You mark this side, that's also point 2. So you now have got point 2 and point 2. You go back again to the center. You open to point 1, which this is point 1. You go to point number 3, which is that, which is point 1 and point 1, like that. So you can label this is point 1, this is point 1. Once you have gotten these points and you link with these ones which are here, then you will be able to construct that opening which is in form of a semicircle. But as you can see, this part is not touching the picture plane. First of all, we need to establish the height line linked to this. How do we do that? Again, we force this one to hit the picture plane. We take it down like that. So all the points in terms of the heights from the elevation should be directed to this line that we have brought down here. So I'm going to extend this. This is my point 0, right? This is my point 1. This is my point 2. That's point 3. Remember, these labels that I'm inserting now, it's just for us to be able to follow our constructions, even though in an exam, you don't really need those labels if you are able to follow on your own. So I've got point 0, which is point 0 in terms of the true height from the ground. Once we have got that point 0, you can now connect to the right vanishing point. You can now connect to the right vanishing point, which is from here to there, right? I do that also for number 1, connect to the right vanishing point, like that. You do the same for number 2, you connect to the right vanishing point. And number 3. So now all the lines are in position. So what is required now is to connect with point 0 and point 0. You locate that point 0 on this line. Let me do that. From the SP to point 0, you have that. I look for another point 0 from the SP, which is this one. Then I take it down, which is this point, and I take this one down, which is this point. Right, as you can see, this line is basically horizontal. We are not going to drop anything down. So what you can do at this point, you can even outline this. Remember, there are so many lines, and you need to make sure that you don't lose sight of the important lines that you have defined. That's why after every construction, you check whether the line that you have drawn is going to affect the other lines which are still to be drawn. If not, you outline that line at once. Now I go to point number 1, point 1 this side, and also from the SP, this is point 1 as well. Then you take this one down to line number 1, which is this one, and you also take this one to line number 1, which is that point. The next one is point number 2 from the SP, like that. Point number 2, like that. Then I bring this one down, which is line number 2, which is here. Then the other one, line number 2, which is there. Last but not least, it's point number 3. I connect with this one. Right, you take this one down. Right, you have got point number 3. You join the points freehand. Right. If you are satisfied that you have done the right thing, right, let me just verify something. Right, is this point. Right, you now outline from here to there. Right, that is the part of the circular part. By coordinating these points, bring them here, then you take them down, you connect with these points, you connect with these points. Then the next thing that you need to do is to refer these points now to the left vanishing point. From point number 1, right, to the left vanishing point, like that. Point number 2 to the left vanishing point. Then point number 3, again to the left vanishing point, like that. Right, then you link these points, point 0, it's already there, then point 1, point 2, and point 3. Right, I will start with point 0. Point 0 is here. Right, take this one, I bring this one down, like that. There is the point of intersection, right? Then I take point 1, you bring this one down like this. You take it to line number 1, which is this point. Then point number 2, again connected to the SP. Right, you take that. You relate it to point number 2. It's almost in line with that. Then last but not least, it's point number 3. Like that. Then you take it down like that. Then you connect this point to that point, to this point, and to that point faintly. Like that. Then you outline like that. Then you can also outline this part from here to there. Then you connect to the right vanishing point and drag backwards. Take this one like that. Then you have got the opening as seen in perspective in terms of the circular part. The last thing that you need to consider is the issue of the visibility of the wall inside through the openings. So I'm going to check with this one. As you can see, it's not touching the picture plane, so I'll force it to touch the picture plane. Then you take it down to the relevant height. You are not going to reach the ground line since the wall is starting at this height, which is on the slab level. So I'm going to connect this one to the right vanishing point like this. If I would be able to see that line through any opening, then I will outline that. That is the inside wall as you are looking at it. I'm also going to check this side if it is visible. Take it down to the height, which is this height. Then you connect to the left vanishing point. As you can see, if we connect with this one, we are not going to see anything through this, but it was necessary in terms of the construction. This wall is going in that direction, which means this line and this one, they would meet somewhere here. So it's not going to pass through that. Boys and girls, this is the concept of perspective. I just wanted to recap on that so that at least when you go for the exam, you are prepared and you attack the exam with confidence. So good luck in your exams and all the best. Right, okay. Let's now proceed with that analytical question that I talked about earlier on. Remember, I said you have got question 1 in paper 1, right? And today we are basically going to look at the analytical question, right? This is a very important question, so, but some of you, I think you would think that you would do this one as an afterthought. But in reality, this question is very important because it gives you marks with answers which are already there, okay? The answers, you just need to find them from the question paper. So you are not going to think about anything, just identify, check closely with regards to the questions which is being asked. Without wasting a lot of time, I want us to look at question number 1. It says, what is the title of the drawing? Right, you check on your paper, right, under here, right, you have got the title panel and so forth. You look for the title, drawing title, then that is the one that you are going to write, and you write neatly. So the drawing title for this particular drawing is the site plan. You write nicely, site plan. On what date was the drawing prepared? Right, again, you look for the date, you look at when was it drawn. Prepared, it means it was drawn, and when was it drawn? So you check, you would find that it was drawn by MP. What date was it drawn? Which is 2018-04-05. Then you come here, you write as it is given, 2018-04-05. The next question, which is number 3, what scale is indicated for the drawing? So you look for the keywords, the scale, right? And if you check under the title panel, you should be able to find scale. It's here, right? It's here. So the scale is 1:500, and you write it neatly here, 1:500, like that. What is the name of the proposed street? You go through, right? You look at the site plan setup, you look at the information that is provided, and you check for the streets, which are normally at the end of the site plan. In this case, you'd find that on the left-hand side, you have got proposed new street, and there's a name that has been given there, which is Ferox Street. You write that. How many existing buildings are there on the stand? Boys and girls, you need to check critically. Look at all the information that is there. Right, we have got this one is a proposed new auto parts dealership. We have got existing auto parts dealership and existing ablution facility, existing store. These are the structures which are there. So it's 1, 2, and 3. Then you come here, you indicate nicely 3. How many parking bays are shown? Since they are building a new structure in terms of the auto body parts, you need to check, are there parking spaces there? Do they provide new parking areas, something like that? So we have got here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you have got 7 and 8. These are the existing parking lots. Then you come here, you indicate nicely 8. What does the abbreviation RE stand for? Right, from our discussions in terms of civil drawing, you would know that there are so many abbreviations that we use, which every one of you should be familiar with. The RE stands for roading I. How wide are the pavements in millimeters? You look for the term pavements and check the sizes. Right, this side is 2.2 meters pavement. You also have got 2.2 meters in terms of the pavement. So you convert that by multiplying by 1,000 in order to convert the meters to millimeters. So here we have got 2.2. If you want, you can actually say 2.2 multiplied by 1,000, which would give you 2,200, like that. What do the two arcs at 1 indicate? Look for the pointer 1 or the leader line 1. It's here, right? You have got that. This is a building, and this is another proposed structure which has to be erected. So that is some kind of entry point. So what would this feature be in terms of an entry? So it could be a gate. You can write gate, right? You can also write entry point. the answers that you write relate to how you understand the concept in terms of this. We know that on a floor plan, we have got double doors, we have got this, which would look something like this. So this, but on this case, it's an entry point, so you need to define it according to the site plan. That's a gate, that's an entry point. Name the feature at 2. Look for the feature 2. I think this you should be familiar with. Right, that's an electrical meter. That's an electrical meter. How many manholes are shown? Again, look for the keyword. That's manholes, right? We have got 1 here, we have got 2, we have got 3. So let me just check if we do have more. No, there are only 3, so you indicate 3. What type of fencing surrounds stand 3289? This is stand 3289. Just check in terms of the fencing that has been provided, you'd find that at the bottom here it's mentioned. It's palisade, so you write palisade. What feature is shown on stand 3288? The first thing is to look for stand 3288, which we find up here, okay? Right, when you see something which is not complete like that, it could be referring to a building, it could be referring to a structure, it could be referring to an adjacent building, right? So you can write anything that would relate to buildings. So in this case, I can say it's a building, right? It's a structure. If I had space, I'd write adjacent building as well, so that it is next, it's our adjacent structure. What is the number of the stand southwest of stand 3289? Right, when the north point, this is what we refer to as the north point, this part. When the north point is at an angle like that, you draw a faint one, which would represent the true north and true south, like that, which is the north and the south. Right, so here you have got the south, the west. What stand do we find this side? You'd find that it's stand 3290. Okay, right, then you write 3290. As you can see, all the answers that we require are basically found on this paper. So boys and girls, do not do this question as an afterthought. Make sure you do it, make a plan to answer it, especially question 1 and question 4 if you are going to pass the exam. First do question 1, do question 4, and work on any one of the other 2 questions that are remaining so that you get high marks. Why is the existing ramp shown with broken lines? When you see a building like that or a structure like that in dotted lines, it means it needs to be demolished or it has already been demolished. The other term that we can use is removed. So it's no longer there. It's no longer going to remain there. It's earmarked for demolition or for removal. What does the arrow on the line at 3 indicate? Let's look for point 3. You see this one? If you are looking at drainage, if you see the arrow like this, it means the direction of flow in terms of the sewer line, in terms of the drain line. So direction of flow. What is the fall of the sewer line? Again, you check where you have got the sewer line. This is the gradient at which the sewer line is laid in the ground. In this case, it's here, and it's 1:40. For every 40 meters, the drain is going 1 meter downwards. In what color could new concrete be indicated on a layout drawing? Right. Concrete is green. I would just mention in passing, if you see red on a drawing plan, it means it's brickwork. If you see yellow, it means it's timber. If you see brown, it could mean new drain pipes. It could mean the hardcore. If you see black on a drawing in terms of civil, it means that could be glass. So in this case, where they are talking about concrete, it is color green. In the space in the title panel, answer 19, draw in neat freehand and according to the sense, 10.143, a face brick hatching and the graphical representation of a galley. Right, face brick. We know that in terms of common brick, we have got two lines, then space, two lines which are close to each other, then space. But if it is face brick, you have got that, then you have got two close lines, then you have got that, two close lines like that. This is the technical representation in terms of hatching for face brick. Then you have got the galley. The galley, it could be a rectangle, it could be a square. They should be two. You have got that. Right. That is the representation of a galley, okay? Last but not least, we now want to look at the perimeter and the area. Right, it says in the space below, determine the total length of the fence. When they are talking about the total length of the fence, it's from A to B, C, D, and so forth, up until you come back to point A. So you have got perimeter is equal to, right? This is the formula that you can use. If it is shaped like this, you can say is equal to 2 into length plus width. Then you look for the length. The length is from A to F, and the width is from F to E. Right, from A to F and from F to E. Right, so you take that. So what is the length? The length is 74 points. You convert that to meters already. Then you write meters because we are not using millimeters. Plus the width, it's F to E. Look for F to E or E to F, which is 49.19. Then you simplify that. But if I were to take my calculator, right, you have got 74.9 plus 49.19 is equal to 124.09 times 2. You have got 248.19 meters. Remember, perimeter is the distance right round a given shape. Then number 21, in the space below, determine the total area of the proposed new auto parts building in square meters. Round off the answer to 3 decimal places. Right, this is not a straightforward shape. So what you need to do, you can cut this into 2 like that. You have got A and you have got B, okay? Such that you have got the area for the first part, which is the rectangle. So I'm going to say area A is equal to length times width, which is that length, which would give me 24.1 meters multiplied by 7.2 meters, already converted in terms of the meters. So 24.1 multiplied by 7.2, you would get 173.52 square meters. That is just the area for this part. Then the next thing that you need to check, The height from here to there, right, it's 18.3, but we are taking away 7.2. So 18.3 minus 7.2 is equal to, from here to there, it's 11.1 meters. Then you also want to check the distance from here to there, right? It's 24.1 minus 5.8, which is 18.3 meters from here to there. I'm going to use the trapezium in terms of the formula, right? So I'm going to say area B is equal to half A plus B. This one could be A, this one could be B, okay? Multiplied by the perpendicular height, which is equal to half A, it's 7.2 meters plus 18.3 meters, like that, multiplied by the height, which is 11.1 meters. Right, let's simplify this. 7.2 plus 18.3 is equal to, multiplied by 11.1, which is 283 divided by 2. We are going to get 141.525 square meters. Right, this is area B, this is area A. Then you add the two together, plus 173.52. Right, we are going to get the total area then. Total area is equal to A plus B, which is equal to 173.52 plus 141.525 square meters. These are square meters, and the answer that we want is 315.045 square meters. Right, so this is how you look at the area. This is how you look at the perimeter. Boys and girls, for today, I think we are going to end here. Then tomorrow, we are going to look at the main question in terms of civil drawing, which is the floor plan, the section, as well as the elevation. Thank you.